from El Salvador.
Tampa, Florida.
Bermuda.
Norway.
Italy.
Guatemala.
Argentina.
Scotland.
Bolivia. I have Irish, Scottish, and then of course Indian.
3/4 German, 1/8 Irish, 1/16 Scottish, and 1/16 French.
I'm from here.
My family is from a lot of places. This is my son, Julian. He was adopted. He is African American and Pakistani. His mother is observant Muslim. We don't know much more than that, but he's pretty awesome. My biological family is from Washington, D.C., but by way of the Caribbean, by way of Nigeria, Ireland, and Russia.
My grandparents came to the United States from Puerto Rico for a better life, to obtain work, and they moved to New York City, and it was a time when there was a lot of migration, I'm not sure what to call it because Puerto Rico is part of the United States, but there was a huge movement at that time in the 30s, and so both my grandmother and my grandfather came separately seeking more opportunities and a better life for themselves and for eventually their children.
My grandmother's family is from Cuba, my dad's mom, and they immigrated from Cuba in the early 1900s to Key West, Florida, and her family was raised there, and then my grandfather married her and then moved to South Carolina and Georgia.
Apparently my great-grandfather was trying to escape fighting in World War II, so he came to the United States either with a forged German passport or something. We're not sure it was legal, but he got into this country, and then a few years later he brought his family over, and that's when my grandmother was 3 years old.
Yeah, I have similar stories that may or may not be true. Supposedly my great-grandfather was an interpreter in World War I, fell in love with the country and brought his family over in the teens, in the 1913 or something like that, which turned out to be a hugely good thing because I'm Jewish and the rest of that family was wiped out in the Holocaust, so it was a great move. But depending on who you talk to, he was either an interpreter, a spy, a barber. I mean, we don't actually really know the reality other than they came here in the 19-teens, and it was very, very fortunate that they did so.
Due to the war that was happening down in the early 80s in El Salvador, much of Central America, so we had to migrate to the U.S. for fear of being killed.
The streets were dangerous in Guatemala. Well, didn't like it. And some of my family died, they got sad. So from that, they came here for be more like relaxed.
Well, yeah, I'm an immigrant and first generation here in the States. And but my grandparents are from Spain, so they immigrated from Spain to Argentina, and then I came from Argentina to the States. So it's like we are just in circles, going in circles around the world.
Probably the most obvious way that we celebrate being Puerto Rican in our household is through food. So we cook rice and beans, we make plátano frito, which is fried plantains, and every day it's café con leche made from a cafetera.
We celebrate Christian traditions, Christmas, and most United States holidays.
Our Christmas traditions are what are sacred to us, and making sure we go to Christmas Eve communion every year, and to just the family aspect of it. My grandfather's entire side of the family get together and celebrate on Christmas Eve, and then we have our special time on Christmas morning as an immediate family. So
we have a really big Thanksgiving. Really big. My mom usually is the main person that cooks. She cooks a million dishes. Everybody comes from miles around, old friends, new friends, old family friends, new people, neighbors. That's probably our biggest tradition during the year. It's just an open house during Thanksgiving. Everybody's welcome, new or old, whether we know you or not.
Immigration is absolutely the fabric of this country. I think it breathes new life into this country, new traditions, and it enriches the culture, the cuisine, and life, and brings new ideas.
America is founded on people coming over here
It was founded on all the people coming over for a new life. So it's definitely important.
All of us here came from somewhere else, and I think it's very important. Having diversity, having like different places and different cultures, different music, just enriches us even more.
Regardless of how you feel about immigration, it's absolutely important to have new blood coming into the country.
Unless you're a Native American, who was here and, got, kicked off your land by the white man, you came over on a boat from somewhere.
On one hand, I'm very proud to be from the United States, but I also feel very proud to have Latino heritage and have a Puerto Rican background and a Jewish background, which I also have on my father's side.
It's a matter of pride and taking pride in where you came from and instilling that in the future generations.